Ahoy, mateys! Welcome back to another tier list video. This is your captain speaking. I wanted to send you guys down a nostalgia trip for the ages. These are stores that are no longer with us. They have passed away. Please press F for respects in the comments and like this video and subscribe for more nostalgia videos. I enjoy making this kind of content. So, anyways, back to your scheduled programming. The tiers are going to be ranked as legendary. These are the ones that strike the happiness in your heart and bring you back to your childhood glory days. And nice memory makes you smile. Don't care, didn't ask. It's pretty self explanatory. Completely forgotten made me literally surprised that this store existed. I completely just was absent minded in my brain. And of course, nightmares. Luckily, there probably won't be too many nightmares on this list, but if I keep doing nostalgia trips like these videos, you're gonna see some nightmare fuel. So subscribe for more videos because I'm making way more content. Anyways, let's get straight to the video. So first up, we have Blockbuster. Now, Blockbuster, I don't surprisingly as overrated as it is, I don't really have too many memories of Blockbuster. There was one in a city near me, about like 25 minutes, half hour away. But we had a local VHS rental place, rental store in our town, like the town next over rather. And I had another one like opposite direction. So we really didn't as a family have like a need to go to Blockbuster. But the video store experience is really cool. It's kind of an odd situation. I remember vividly walking down the aisles and seeing like the movies lined up by genre and then going over and they had to like stamp it and click it. It was like going to the library but for movies. And I just have a lot of memories of movie stores in general. And I honestly kind of miss them. I feel like there should be at least a couple just for the nostalgia of it. But with Blockbuster, I'm gonna put it in nice memory. I remember a little bits of it and I liked it. I just don't really have that much to go off of, to be honest. It's one of those ones that I just didn't experience a whole lot. Next up is Bonton. Ew. Who likes Bonton? Um, you know what? Honestly, I think I lied. It's going to the nightmare. Bonton is so icky. It's like it was at our mall, and in our mall we had like four sections, right? Like J.C. Penney's, Macy's, Sears, which is also on this list, and then Bonton. Bonton was always like the bastard child of the department stores. No one really loved going to Bonton. It was everything you didn't want. And that's saying a lot because Sears is on there, but I just felt like this is like crappy. You walked in, it was so dingy, and it was like it tried to be other stores, but just wasn't worth it. And honestly, for the prices too, like it wasn't like super cheap. Now, if it was like dirt cheap or something, you could be like, oh, okay. But I just don't have very good memories from there. I remember that the changing rooms were weird because my mom would always want to go to Bonton. I feel like there's no demographic that Bonton appealed to that wasn't just like 50 and over, just generally 50 and over. So for that, it's going in nightmares. I just don't like it. And I don't have very good memories. Honestly, I'd rather have not remembered Montauk when making this list. Okay, next up, Borders. For all you little goofballs out there that don't know Borders, Borders was a bookstore. Okay, and we're in our mall where it was at. It was at the bottom level beneath the food court, and I honestly really like Borders. It's not as good as Barnes and Noble, but as a kid, I really liked it, and I used to love spending time there and like, reading the kids' books. And I was kind of a nerd, so I liked like the history stuff. I used to go over and I liked all that kind of like not like nonfiction stuff. I'd be like, "Ooh, let's read this," and I would go to the comics area, and so like it has a lot of nice nostalgia for me. So I'm gonna put that in legendary. Honestly, I miss Borders. I'm sad that there's only Barnes and Nobles, especially for like a brand bookstore. I feel like there should be more. So I do really fondly like Borders. If you've never been to one, I'm sorry that you didn't get to experience it. It's nothing crazy. It's just like Barnes and Noble 2.0, but I think it does hold some sort of value, if you're a book fan and if you like being in bookstores, which, come on, who doesn't? If you like being in bookstores, stop watching the video. Okay, next up, Carmike Cinemas. Now, this is a little bit different because it did go to AMC, which is one near our like my area anyways. But Carmike Cinemas was like for most of my childhood, if not all of it. And I gotta be honest, I like Carmike. I like the little like the previews that would be like that, like you knew you were in a Carmike movie. You know, the guy that would like fumble his popcorn all over and be like, "You're at Carmike Cinemas." You know, it just was like something that you were used to. It was just like a whole experience. That's the thing about nostalgia. Did the store provide a good experience? And for Carmike's, I'm putting it legendary. I'm putting it legendary. I just have that got me interested in going to the movie theaters. I have memories of skipping class actually and going with my mom or going with a friend or something and going to Carmike Cinemas and going to watch a movie. Now, the prices are outrageous, but that's not really a Carmike fault. It's kind of a movie theater problem because of the distribution and like how they have to raise the prices because they don't make money off the ticket sales, blah 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 blah, whatever. But still, Carmike is like boom. It reminds me of being a kid. It hits you right in the heart. Legendary is where it's going. Okay, Circuit City, who cares? Just like seriously, don't care, didn't ask. Like I actually completely forgotten. I don't even know if there was one near us. I think there was one like kind of near us, like 40 minutes away. Or maybe I don't know if someone wants to refresh my memory in the comment section. I just don't know what it, I think it was like a Radio Shack or like a Best Buy maybe. I just remember the commercials because I remember that big annoying red circle and being like, "Wow, that's an annoying commercial," but certainly not as bad as Bontot. Just who cares? And if Beyond don't even care, it's just I don't even remember this existed until I looked at the logo and I was like, "Oh, right, that was a place at one point." So for that, I'm just gonna put in the complete forgotten. Who cares? Don't even waste your time on this section. Okay, Fashion Bug. Again, completely forgotten. I don't even remember what was in there. Something tells me it was kind of like a Marshalls or like a TJ Maxx, but worse. I vaguely remember being there like with my mom or like my relatives. I don't know if there was one near our town. If you know me personally, was there one near our town? I don't know, but I do remember seeing it. I just don't really care, and I don't really remember much about it. I can only comment on. Okay, Gander Mountain. Um, Gander Mountain, I'm gonna put in the don't care, didn't ask. I mean, I'm a little biased. I'm not really like an outdoorsy person. I'm not really a hunter, but it wasn't bad. I have memories of going there, and I don't know if this was for every Gander Mountain, but I swear over by the bathrooms, like near the crossbow and bow and arrow section, there was a little area where they had those old like hunting games with the shotgun, and you could like shoot and like like shoot the deer and stuff on there. I swear to God that was at a Gander Mountain. It was not Cabela's, so don't comment Cabela's because I know it wasn't there. But I think it was Gander Mountain. Anyways, I have memories there, but it's not really nice, but they're not terrible. They're just kind of like, okay, not a hunter. So for that reason, I'm putting in the don't care, didn't ask. Okay, Hollywood Video. Now, I don't know how big of a chain this is. I'm kind of cheating. It's another video rental place. But this one I went to way more than Blockbuster. So I'm putting it in the legendary. Here's why. Hollywood was Video was in a town near mine. And it was a little bit further of a drive, but not too bad. But it was the superior one than the local one that we had in the other town, because this one had all the movies. Like, imagine there was like a series, right? Say there's like a kids show or kids movie. It has like 4 of the movies or something. Well, the local one would have like 1 or 2, but this one had all of them. So it was a superior one, but it was pricier. So you had to weigh in the cost there. And I remember it was like a special treat if my parents took me to Hollywood Video. That meant that's the good stuff. That's where you got you could spend so long looking for movies in that one. And again, for everyone out there, you used to grab a movie, you would take it up to the counter, they would beep it, check it up, and you would rent it, you had to take it back in a couple days. I think new releases, you had to return them in so long or something, and I remember that, um, you had to literally return them like a library. It's kind of wild actually, in person. But I just remember the rows of cases, and you used to come up and be like, "Oh, I want this one," and people would say, like, "No, you're out." That was the other problem. Because it was a better one, I swear, like, the movies you wanted were never in. Like, they were always like, "Oh, sorry, it's on wait," or something, or like, 2 people checked it out. You're like, "Dang it." Like, what why can't I get that friggin' movie? But great place, have a lot of good memories with that. So Hollywood Video, legendary. Okay, Kmart. So Kmart, I'm gonna put in the nice memory. Now, although I went to Kmart significantly more than Blockbuster, you know what? Actually, I'm putting Kmart in legendary. Here's the reason why I'm putting in legendary. I have a lot of good memories of Kmart. Was it a great store? No, but they also had like it was like Walmart, but like a crappier version of Walmart, like the more like local Walmart. Although it's not a local chain, it felt like a smaller version of a Walmart, and it was actually kind of expensive for stuff too. But I distinctly remember going in, and first off, big plus, they had Little Caesars. Little Caesars, although it might be crappy pizza, when you walked in, you smelled the pizza going to Kmart and the popcorn because they used to have popcorn there and slushies. You would go, "Oh, I'm in Kmart," and it had that very like late '90s feel. Like even in like recently, because it only closed down like maybe 5, 6 years ago, and I remember like you walk in, it felt like you took a trip backwards. It felt very late '90s, the decor on the walls. But I used to get a lot of clothes there and stuff too. Like it was like the place to go. And fun fact, when I was a kid, they used to have a photography business where the return center was. So you, as a little kid, can go get your pictures taken. But that was when I was like a really little kid. Um, but besides that, like, the movies were expensive, the food was expensive, like, grocery-wise, and also they used to print out a bunch of receipts, like, you would go check out and literally they give you, like, a packet of receipts. They'd have to staple the receipts. That's how many receipts you got. I just think, like, it has a lot of memories, and even though there's some negative ones, I feel like because it hits so home, I gotta put in the legendary. Okay, Peebles. Um, I honestly, I don't like Peebles. Actually, I'm putting in the nightmares. I don't like Peebles. I didn't like Peebles ever. It was super pricey. The clothes sucked. The deals sucked. Everything kind of sucked about it. I remember being dragged there all the time as a kid, more like later kid, because I don't know if it was there forever, not forever, but like when I was a little kid. And I just feel like it is the worst version of Marshalls and TJ Maxx. Whereas like old like Fashion Bug is kind of like that. At least I don't know. Who knows? Because I can't freaking remember it. But Peebles, I distinctly remember, is of the same vein, and it just pales in comparison. I don't even want to talk about Peebles anymore. I'm glad they went out of business. How's that sound? I don't like it. Don't care. No more Peebles. Sorry, my British accent. I like doing that sometimes. Okay. Radio Shack. Don't care. It's gonna go in the don't care, didn't ask. Whoop. Um, Radio Shack is kind of like the place you went to where you walked in and you felt like everyone knew more about technology than you did. Like you walked in, you were like, you were there with the tail between your legs, going, "I need a cord to plug to something in the blank." And they're like, "Oh, you mean the blah 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 blah?" And you're like, "Oh yes, of course, me a numbskull. Didn't know that." I just don't care much about it. I remember it. Um, just wasn't a place I spent a lot of time at. I just I'm not a huge tech person, but even if I was, I just don't have a whole lot of memories. I just can't really comment too much. I just remember going there for the last measures if we needed a specific cord because it was pricier than Walmart. So I'm gonna put a don't care, didn't ask. Not not a fan, not a hater, just don't care. Okay, Sears. Sears is also gonna be in the don't care, didn't ask. I just I don't know. I don't really have any feelings about Sears. Like, it sucked. Yeah. It was outdated. Yeah. Like Kmart. It's Kmart without any of the good stuff. It's Kmart without any of the good nostalgia. It's just crappy. Just a crappy department store. And I know everyone's gonna be like, yeah, but 70 years ago it was top. Yeah, but I don't care about 70 years ago because I wasn't alive. So, you can comment it and I can look at it, but wink, wink. But yeah, Sears just we went there quite a bit because there was like cheaper clothes. And I'm not saying it was like horrible. It just didn't do anything to stand out. And especially when they closed down, it didn't make me go like, man, I'm gonna miss Sears. I just was like, yeah, I guess. Oh well. Sears just didn't cut it for me. Okay, Toys R Us. Toys R Us is a nice memory. Toys R Us, I will admit, is a really overrated store. It was really expensive when I was a kid, so we really couldn't afford a whole lot at Toys R Us. But it does hold some place in my heart because it was like the mecca of toy places. Like when you were a kid and your parents said we're going to Toys R Us, it was like there could be no better. And you walked in and it was like a metropolis of toys. It was tall high. It was yay high, full of all the toys you ever wanted, and you always left with like one toy because you couldn't afford that many, at least for me. So, I missed Toys R Us when they left. I will say though it's a bit overrated, but in my opinion, like Blockbuster, it's a nice memory, a nice one. I know people are probably expecting me like a big comment about Toys R Us, but I just don't really have much to say. It was a nice memory, but I understand why it left, and I'm not hating for it. Okay, last but not least, Wet Seal. It's funny. I never shopped at Wet Seal. Like I knew people who shopped at Wet Seal, but I was not really a fan. Like I really wasn't the clothes and stuff. Like so for me, it's like a don't care, didn't ask. But if you are a fan of Wet Seal, you probably like it more than I do. I remember it being kind of expensive, like in the mall expensive range. Not a whole lot. I just don't really care a whole lot. But I will say when I did see the logo, it did strike like a chord in my heart because I remember very much so like seeing Wet Seal at the mall, like walking down and being like, "Oh, hey, look, Wet Seal." I can't remember if it was at my mall or the one kind of further away. I don't know. If you're from my area, you know who I am. Comment down below if it was there. I can't quite remember. Or if you shopped at Wet Seal. Rather, if you shopped at any of these places and you have fond memories, leave a comment down below, like the video, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell because I will be making more content. If you like more nostalgia content, tell me. I actually really enjoy this going back in memory lane. So, with that in mind, this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will be seeing you all next time. This is Captain Steph signing off.